As you guys know, Jon Jones has had a rough time with the UFC getting the contract that he wanted and mentioned that he'll be vacating his UFC light heavyweight title. Just recently on Twitter, he reiterated that he's retired for life. He posted this on his Twitter saying, "I'm going to blow your mind right now. Type in any 3-digit number, then new cases on Google." A fan responded back saying, "Result equals steroids and coke. What did I do wrong?" Jon Jones responded back saying, "32 years old and retired for life. Troll on, my friend." A 3-round welterweight bout between Vicente Luque versus Randy Brown has been targeted for a UFC card on 1st of August. Vicente Luque is coming off a TKO stoppage victory over Niko Price, and Randy Brown is coming off a submission win over Warlley Alves. Dustin Poirier, in a recent interview with MMA Junkie, speaks on his preparation leading up to his fight with Dan Hooker.
This guy's dangerous. This guy's a top opponent, a top 5 ranked fighter in the UFC for a reason. You know, I don't look past anybody. This guy is the only thing I'm focused on right now. 25 minutes with Hooker, and we'll see what happens, man. But I don't like the fact that fans and stuff are just passing him over, because this is a dangerous guy, and I've been preparing very seriously for. You know, I focus on what I can control, and that's me being prepared next weekend, and I've definitely done that, so I'm excited to get in there. George was probably one of my, he was the main sparring partner. I've been working with Luis Pena a lot as well. He's fighting on the card. He's a long, lanky guy. So is Dan, so it was just a good look. He has a decent guillotine as well, you know, some funky ground stuff he does. Being long like that, they move differently. So, you know, I've got everything I need. Yeah, I feel good. You know, the surgery was very intensive. It was, you know, a 5-hour surgery. I was on crutches for almost 8 weeks. Couldn't put any weight on my leg. They had to microfracture the head of my femur, so I couldn't put any pressure. You know, I had to follow the rules and sleep in a machine for like 6 weeks that moved my leg up and down the whole time. It was an uncomfortable process, man. The physical therapy was tough. You know, it was a long process, and I'm glad I'm back here. I'm glad I'm feeling good, training. I'm just excited to be back. You know, I've always just submerged myself in work when I've lost before, and kind of drowned everything out just with hard work. And this particular loss was the biggest loss of my career, and also I had to get sidelined. So I couldn't just jump back in the gym and drown everything out. I had to think and sit on the couch and just watch everybody else fight. So it was more of a mental training, man. I feel mentally stronger and more focused than I've ever been. But yeah, this is the longest layoff I've ever had, and especially coming off of, you know, title unification loss and surgery. I was really, you know, down on myself during the process, and then gradually just pick myself up, you know, and train my brain. And I believe that's going to help my performances from here on.
At UFC Vegas 3, Josh Emmett defeated Shane Burgos via unanimous decision. After the fight, he suffered many injuries. He posted this on his Twitter saying, "Most people would have quit or looked for a way out. I will never quit. Complete ACL tear, MCL sprain with partial tearing, Baker's cyst rupture, focal impact fracture of femur on the lateral, chondral defect cartilage on tibia laterally matching impact area. Hashtag UFC Vegas 3. Shane Burgos released a statement after his loss to Josh Emmett. He posted this on his Instagram saying, "Last night didn't go my way. Even with the devastation of the loss, that might have been the most fun I've had in a fight. Felt great all week. Had a phenomenal camp. I have no excuses. I really wish we could have had 2 more rounds, but it is what it is. Thank you all for the love and support, and hats off to Josh Emmett. Thank you for the unforgettable war. Big shout out to the UFC and Dana White for keeping the ball rolling and giving us the opportunity to fight and provide. Excited to get back to my baby girl and get right back to work. This is all parts of God's plan for my life, and I trust in him. I will be back soon." Kenny Florian on the Anik Florian podcast speaks on Curtis Blaydes' performance against Alexander Volkov.
I thought for Curtis Blaydes, he started off phenomenally well. I thought that he really kept a great pace for those early rounds, but that great pace, it seemed like was a little bit too much as we got into the later rounds. I think he got a little excited. I think he wanted to really prove himself in this main event spot, and in doing so, pushed a little bit too hard and really kind of almost gassed out late in the fight to the point where it looked like maybe things were going to turn completely in that 4th and 5th round where Volkov was going to completely take over. It didn't turn out that way. Blaydes was able to kind of reel it in a little bit and be a little bit more conservative in his approach. Seemed like guys like Dana White and other people, I know you said you didn't love the main event. Right. Unfortunately for Blaydes, I think him attempting all of those takedowns wasn't necessarily the problem. It was the kind of takedowns that I think was the problem, if that makes sense. He was trying to do these high amplitude takedowns and was trying to lift Volkov off the mat. Right. This is a huge guy at heavyweight, and you probably have maybe 2 or 3 of those heavy lifts in you, for the duration of the fight in order for you to keep a certain pace. And I felt like Blaydes was just pushing a little bit too hard, a little bit too much, and was forcing things out there as opposed to kind of just letting the fight play out and just pacing himself properly. I think he pushed a little too hard, too fast, got too excited, and is going to learn a lot from that fight. Positionally, he could have been better with his jiu-jitsu, could have been a little bit better with his ground and pound, but I think we'll see a better Blaydes next time out.
And Ben Askren on his Instagram gives his thoughts on Max Rohskopf quitting in mid-fight at UFC Vegas 3.
Hey, I've been asked a lot of times to give my opinion on the Max Rohskopf situation, so that was this weekend. After the second round, he said, hey, I'm out. I want to be done. I don't remember exactly what he said. Something to that effect. The corner refused to end it. Eventually, the commissioner heard him, and the commissioner ended it. And there's been a whole bunch of hot takes. And so let me start this with, I know Max Rohskopf. I've worked out with him. So, hey, I may be biased. But I think I'm going to give a good opinion about this. Now, I get that he is the first person to verbally do that in quite some time, but in actuality it happens relatively often, right? Someone takes a punch, they don't want to be there, they lay down, and then they take a few more punches, the ref says, okay, we're done here. Obviously the king of that, for all of you guys know, Bob Sapp's the king of that, right? Bob Sapp used to do that all the freaking time. And so Max did it verbally, and let's take this into account. He took the fight on 5 days' notice, okay? I have no idea whether he was training or not training. Yeah, Jacob's cutting some trees up there. I'm going to haul him to the fire in a second. So I have no idea if he was training or not. I mean, my guess would be if he was training, it probably wasn't all that serious because, well, he wasn't signed to the UFC. And the UFC were the only people putting on any type of fights. So what would he have been training for? So my guess is he wasn't training, okay? Now, I've never went into a fight without training, okay? But I have went into practice without training, and this is wrestling, fighting, whatever, right? Maybe you not totally off, but you're going a lot lower intensity as you go in there. And there is this point you can push your body to where it will physically exhaust itself and it will not continue to do anything, okay? I can tell you that without a shadow of doubt. I've gotten there a whole bunch of times in practice where my body just, we're done here. It's not going anymore. That was the point at which it appeared Max was getting to in rounds 2, okay? So now with fighting, wrestling is fine. Whatever, you gas out, you get beat by points, maybe you get pinned, whatever. In fighting, you can take a lot of damage. And really, you guys know, heard me, the only thing I'm really worried about in fighting is the trauma to the head. That's a very, very dangerous thing. And so for him to, say, hey, I'm done, if he feels that way, that's fine. I mean, he probably could have just like shot it and gave up a guillotine choke or, he got hit by a hard punch, covered up and taken some, and maybe that would have been better and we wouldn't be debating this point. But the fact is, he chose to do it verbally, and that's fine. Okay? So he was coming on 5 days' notice. Obviously, I don't really think he was training all hard. He was gassed. Now, what should Max Rohskopf have done? Well, if I was coaching Max Rohskopf, there's obviously two things you could do there. You can go in and go for the kill, like he did. He was super aggressive towards the heel hook, but obviously that gassed him out. So, and then in round 2, he gets the takedown early and stays up. Max is a good wrestler and has great control. I would have said, Max, take this dude down, lay on his ass for 3 rounds and win the fight, because you are not in shape. You have not been training. You've only been training 5 days. Take the dude down, hold him down. Maybe the guy gets frustrated, gives him his back, and then you get a submission that way, right? But he went out for the kill with the leg locks. The other dude had good leg lock defense. Boom, that's it. Okay, he got gassed out. He lost the fight. So that is what I think about that. Robert Drysdale, he has a point. Yes, at times, do you need to push your fighters? Yeah, for sure. Was that the right time? I don't know. I don't know Max all that well. I know him a little bit, but it's hard to say exactly when to push, when to love. That man, that's a very, very delicate balance that a coach needs to know. So that's kind of my take on the situation. Hope you guys like that. A lot of people were asking me. Hope you're having a great day. I'm going to work on the disc golf course more. Peace.